It's my privilege to welcome you all for the day 4 sessions of our FDP. I'm sure all the participants would have had a good night's rest after the test and are fresh today. With those exciting FNB service sessions yesterday, today we shall walk through accommodations with the aid of our eminent resource persons, Ms. Amandeep Kaur, Ms. Ritu Bhatia, and Mrs. Chitra K. Vishwanath. I am confident that today's sessions by all the ladies will not only be stimulating and exciting, but will definitely kindle the minds of this exclusive audience. One of the great pleasures of staying in a hotel is spending time in a spotless, neat, and a very organized space that you don't have to clean. That doesn't mean the work disappears. It appears to us during your absence and someone else does it. Hats off to the housekeepers whose labor keeps the rooms clean, tidy, and the guests happy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to have with us Ms. Amandeep Kaur, who would embark upon the subject Housekeeping by Design, Hotels and Labor. May I now request my colleague, Dr. Leena N. Fouquet, to introduce Ms. Amandeep Kaur. Over to Dr. Leena.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Usha. I'm Leena and I'll be your moderator for the day. Just to give you a brief as to what we're going to speak in the beginning in the first session. So for centuries now, housekeeping is considered to be a laborious work, and most people tend to think of housekeeping as just cleaning. But if you ask me, being here in this industry and academician, I would like to describe it as an art. It's the art of arrangement and presentation. It's about walking in a room and finding it flawless, beautiful from every perspective. The housekeeping job is not completed until we turn around, look at the room, and we are immersed in a sense of sophisticated presentations, luxurious accessibility, ambience, comfort, and creating that wow moment for our guests. So let's get more insights on this from our first speaker, a charismatic personality with us today, and a dear friend, Ms. Amandeep Kaur. So before we begin, let me introduce Amandeep, an alumni of Welcome Group Management Institute. Amandeep Kaur started her career at ITC Grand Central Mumbai as a member of pre-opening team. She then moved on to ITC Sonar, Kolkata, and Sheraton, New Delhi as a part of housekeeping team. Ms. Kaur played a pivotal role in the opening of the largest hotel in the chain, ITC Grand Chola, Chennai, and thereafter joined as executive housekeeper at ITC Grand Hyatt, Gurgaon. She subsequently moved to ITC Gardenia, Bangalore, in the capacity of executive housekeeper and was promoted to the position of resident manager within a year. Along with her operational excellence, her core skills constitute excellent people management and team building skills while driving a result-oriented, passionate, and ethical work culture. uh, Amandeep Kaur currently works at the Welcome Hotel by ITC Hotels, Bangalore, as a general manager. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Amandeep Kaur, who will be speaking on the topic Housekeeping by Design, Hotel and Labor. Amandeep, good morning. Over to you.
Good morning, Dr. Lina. Thank you so much. I told you, I warned you, don't give such fancy introduction. I'm just a very normal hotel fellow being. So good morning to everybody. Thank you so much, Dr. Lina. Good morning to everybody. Lovely to start my day with the institute and university with faculty members. It's the best thing you can do to start your day with. Thank you, Dr. Kerwin. I'm not sure if he's around, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Lina, and thank you to all the coordinators. Thank you all faculty members for giving me this opportunity and being here to listen to me. Trust you me, I'll try to make it as engaging as possible. I know in the mornings, me and Dr. Lina discussed, it's really, probably for 1 hour, it's not exciting in the morning to see the presentation. So my promise to you is I'll try to make it as engaging as possible. To start with, I'll just introduce a bit about myself. So Dr. Lina has given a great amount of introduction about me. My name is Amandeep Kaur, and I started my career in hotels back in 2000 when I joined IHM Chandigarh. I'm a Delhi-born girl, have done my schooling in Delhi, and after that, I was a biology student, by the way, and wanted to be a doctor at one point of time. However, I think very soon my parents realized that probably I don't have those brains to and that much of commitment towards academics to get into medical. So my father, in fact, we don't have anybody in my background who is from the hotels, and neither we have visited the five-star hotels so much that we really know what it is all about. However, still being very progressive, he said that this is something new which is coming in, and why don't you give it a shot in this as well to have a parallel option for your career. And that is how I applied for Hotel Management Institute as well. However, I did get into dental college, and I left that to be a hotelier, and probably that's how I was destined to be. And I got that IHM had 28 institutes at that point of time, and I got into IHM Chandigarh. 3 years of college was in fact, the first year of the college was the most hard-hitting for me because, as I said, we were not the ones who would go to the five-star hotels every now and then, and I belonged to a very middle-class family, and when suddenly the potatoes and tomatoes and the mops and the big utensils were thrown at you to work on, it was like hard-hitting. And but obviously, when you slowly get into it and you start the theory, the reality struck even more when in the second year you went for your internship to the five-star hotels. So it was an evolving journey during the college. Had best of my time in the college, as all of us have. And eventually in third year, a lot of good reputed organizations came for the interviews. I sat for all at the shop floor level as well as for the management training interviews. Got into OCLD till final round, and then finally in my final round, somebody told my interviewer told me that I look too young to be a housekeeper, and that is how I couldn't get through in my last round. However, WMI I managed to get into a management training program, and that is how my journey with ITC began. For 2 years, I was in WMI. It's a Gurgaon-based institute, and during the time, we got a lot of shop floor training in Moria and Welcome Hotel Sheraton, New Delhi. Grand Central was in a pre-opening stage. Our whole batch went there to open and assist in Grand Central as well. And Grand Central was my first posting in 2005 when I passed out from WMI as well. So from there, thanks to ITC, I got the opportunity to travel north, west, east, south. I've covered most of the properties in all the directions of India and got a lot of exposure. And here am I today in Bangalore. I'm heading a unit, Welcome Hotel by ITC Hotels. It's a brand. It's an individual brand of ITC. It's a standalone brand with about a lot of other Welcome Hotels in the portfolios, which does not have a tie-up with the Marriott. So that is where I am today. Very grateful, very happy with what I do. A hardcore, passionate housekeeper. That is where I started, and that is how I began my career. I opted. This is not something which was forced or something which. Jenny, morning.
அந்த பாத்தீங்களா மேம் அந்த மெயில் அனுப்புனது?
Amandeep, one moment.
Yeah. So that is so nobody asked me to join housekeeping, and it was through my experience during my internships, your theories, and through a lot of exposure in the hotel industry. Eventually, I decided that I will be a housekeeper. Lot of good. I probably had some silly reasons also for joining housekeeping, along with professional goals and professional this thing. Silly reasons was, oh, I won't have to do a, on a lighter note, won't have to do a break shift like F&B, or probably I'll have a streamlined shift hours. Well, that was a myth. I did manage to break that myth when I started doing break shifts, and I started getting my team to do break shift to manage the resources well. And that's a separate story later in the career. But however, I found this department to be very, very disciplined. And what you just spoke, that I very soon realized it's not only about housekeeping. It is about not only about cleaning and not about hygiene. There's a lot more. That the whole plethora of opportunities that you have in this department is way beyond than what we have read in our theory books and what we know of it as a department, as the name suggests. So I think that's about me, and now I will speak about the topic that has been given to me, a bit on that. So respected faculty members, when this topic came to me, I was very confused. Housekeeping by design and by contract, and I was like, if this was for the students, I knew exactly what I had to speak, because I wanted to tell them that what housekeeping design means, or what housekeeping by contract means. But the faculty members who are so senior in the system and who already know so much about faculty, probably they can teach me something about it. I can learn. I have nothing to talk to them about it. Well, I picked up the phone and spoke to Dr. Leena, and I said, what is expected out of me? Because faculty would certainly know much more than with their experience and the respect that I have. I won't be able to add much more value to that. What exactly are we talking about? And that is when it struck me that it is a very, very critical topic that has been given to me to speak about. That is, housekeeping by design is not only about cleaning. It's not that cleaners we are talking about. It's not about only hygiene that we're talking about. And probably she asked me to do it because today I speak to you in the capacity of a general manager. I am in that position where probably housekeepers, not many housekeepers are there, but they're getting there. So I put in my head and started reading about this topic, and realized there's been a whole book which has been written about housekeeping by design and contract. And though I promise that I will not make it very boring with my presentation, but I have put some thought in a small PPT, and I will just like to share that. And we will. Can everybody see my screen?
No, madam. Yes, madam.
Okay, so bit of a book that I read, which resonates with the topic that we're talking about. So the sheer fact that this whole presentation is not very structured and not the anticipated PPT that one expects resonates with the topic. So it's not what the name suggests. It's not about the structure that one perceives in designers. anything unstructured and anything unanticipated can also be your reality. So, so that is why I didn't put a structured PPT there, and I'll just go through a quick synopsis of what I read. I wish I could have read the whole book. And I will for sure will do that. So, synopsis of the book, Housekeeping by Design, is one of the great pleasures in staying in the hotel is spending time in a spotless, neat and organized space that you don't have. And this I have not written, I've just taken a synopsis from what I found online. That doesn't mean that work disappears when we are not looking, someone else is doing it. With Housekeeping by Design, David Brody, he is an author, introduces it to those people, that is housekeepers. Through unprecedented access to staff at several hotels, Brody shows us just how much work goes on behind the scene and so on and so forth. So David Brody writes about his experience basically when he had an opportunity to stay in a hotel back in years. And when he finishes the book, there is one last line which he says that after reading this fascinating expose of the ways of the hotel work, or don't for housekeeper, one thing is certain, that checking in will never be same again. And this is from a guest perspective. I took some just from the book and I've just put in here. So this is a story. The book starts with a story in the year 1984 when he had to check in into one of the hotels for 3 months because I think his house was caught up in a fire or something, and the insurers let them stay in a hotel for some time. So now this is his recall, that what I remember most about the hotel was the food. The restaurant on the ground floor was American Bistro, for Fantasyland for any teenage boy, and that I'm presuming that was the time when he was a teenager. What I remember least about the hotel was housekeeping. That's what he's writing. However, even though the food is still clear in my mind, the women who came to clean my room each day to tidy up the messy space, change the sheet and disinfectant bathroom are barely even the distant memory obscured by almost 30 years. What is most important about this perception of cleanliness is that housekeeper complete their job without interfering with guest stay. The presence and the perceived lack thereof is critical. Now, this is the year when in 1984, and which I would want to clarify, and which I want to stress on, that maybe it was like this at that point of time, which is not the case anymore. Just these last two the last 2 pointers from that book is labor create things in a way that enhances bourgeois financial advantages, and when design product enters the market space, these objects, experiences, and environment become fetishized as consumable things. This process further distances those buying these products from the labor of production, while concomitantly adding to the class stratification that consumption promotes. I will just demystify this whole complicated English that is written here. But basically what he's trying to say is that when the hotels are designed, there are all the design elements in terms of the product and the service design are made in keeping guests, the consumers, in mind. So for us, the consumers are our guests who comes and utilizes services and the product. So in the end, when the consumer consumes it, it just is packed and presented to them as a product and a service design which they would like to have. So it further creates the gap between the perception of the guest who's consuming it and actually the people at the back end who are making it happen for them, like for example in housekeeping or an F&B stewarding person who's cleaning or maintaining their cutlery, crockery, or procuring probably for them. So thus my book, this is what the author is saying, thus my book argues that if the line workers, hotel employees were not, management had more say about design, the industry would change for better. Instances of labor strife would less frequent. The physical consequences of hotel work would be less harmful and hotels would become even more cost effective. So now I'll just disengage this presentation and I would like to stress a little bit more. This book has been written in some other country and more from the perspective of when the hotels are designed. However, I take the clue from here and I will talk more about how basically what he's talking about, that the back-end staff should also be involved and should be seen and should be taken into account while designing these hotels, while I will talk more about the service designs and how the housekeepers can also be the forefront, because that's the topic I'm supposed to talk about. So I don't know if there's a chat column or something, because I want to really know what this picture shows or
Yes,
talks
Aman,
about.
Aman, you can go ahead with your presentation. We will take up the questions later.
Okay,
Don't worry
okay,
about
so
it.
this is a slide where I want it to trigger some thoughts. So from this session, or from what Dr. Leena said, or what I'm trying to say, this is what we are trying to say in nutshell. What housekeeping is perceived as to what we want it to be. It's from rags to riches. I mean, don't take me wrong, but that's what we're talking here, back end, only about cleaning, only about this thing. We are not being, the housekeepers are not promoted as the forefronters, and there is a lot more a housekeeping is all about. Basically, what we're saying, how we make this plethora of experiences about housekeeping and housekeepers, so that they are not considered just a department which works quietly at the back end and are not supposed to be interacting and coming in forefront. So this is the kind of image probably which we unknowingly have in our mind about housekeeping. And the lady on the right is what we want it to be. However, it just does not happen on its own. It just does not happens overnight. So basically what I'm saying is there's not going to be any fairy godmother who's going to come in and say, okay, let me put my magic wand on, and then, the things will change and the perceptions of the people will change, or what students who comes to study housekeeping, their emotions and feelings and perception about housekeeping will change. So this is not going to happen. So this is a cross slide basically. Now, I'm speaking to a very respected faculty members who I still believe in today's world of influencers, online influencers, bloggers. So digital platforms are still the most respected and most effective influencer. And they will always be the teachers, the faculty members. And that is how these quotes I just pulled up, which can trigger the thought process that how, if no fairy godmother is coming, how the process of perception change or a culture change regarding the department going to happen. Few write-ups, I don't know these authors, but I still liked what it has been written here, so I put up here. Something teachers or students can learn from my experiences, that we have to overcome our fears and not let them to control ourselves, because we can't know our capabilities if we are afraid. Now what is it we saying? We already have a preconceived notions about the department, that it's only about housekeeping, it's all about cleaning, it's all about maintaining hygiene, it's going in the back of the houses and back of the house and cleaning the offices of our colleagues, peers, and the managers who are working there. It's cleaning the lockers and the now. But we all know there's a lot more. So there is already a perceived notion about the department where there's already a fear that this is a barrier. After this, we're not going to grow. So I think as a faculty member, that is where we have to change it when we start our conversations, when we start teaching this subject. Next is the influence of a teacher extends beyond the classroom well into the future. And I can completely say that with a lot of confidence. This makes sense, because I still have certain perceptions about my housekeeping teachers, faculty members from various phases of my learning, where I said that, I look back and I say that, well, that is something in the housekeeper I do not want to inculcate in myself, because that will stop me from growing and thinking ahead. And there is something from some housekeeper I would want to take in and go ahead and present in myself, because that has broadened my horizon. So that is the impact of teachers and the faculty members on a student, when the way they've been told or presented a particular subject. And the last one is, be somebody who makes everybody feel like somebody. Now that's very critical. As a faculty member of a housekeeping or a housekeeper, it is so critical that you're made to feel important and somebody. As we progress and go further into the slides and themes, I'll tell you what I mean when I say that. A quick one. We as a now. Please don't expect a very structured. These are just some thought processes. I thought it will be more about talking. It will be more about how we can change as a faculty members and as a future leaders of the industry, how we can change this perceptions and preconceived notion what housekeeping is all about. Certain food for thought. When the housekeepers are or per se or students are asked to do a presentation, or teachers are doing some, or faculty members are doing some presentations to the students on any occasion, it can be anything. Just quick thought to yourself. What are the pictures that you put in there? Food for thought, since we can't engage right now in the conversation. Food for thought. What are the pictures? I'll tell you what are the pictures I have always seen being presented in a housekeeping forums, in the housekeeping classrooms, in the housekeeping workshops like this. Maybe an animated picture of a broom, mop, somebody carrying a caddy, or somebody making a bed. That's the limitations. While we can continue to talk that what a housekeeping is all about, but there is such stereotype presentation of the department that comes out of this PPTs. And why I'm saying this is because I'm talking to a very respected faculty members who go ahead and present in various platforms about this particular department. So it is, and I won't restrict myself to housekeeping. This is a food for thought. All the faculty members who are here, and please pardon me, it's with all due respect, I'm just saying, since we're talking about the culture and how we can evolve in future. So that's why I'm putting it here. So there is a very limited presentation pictures of housekeeping that has been put across. You open the housekeeping traditional textbooks. It starts with cleaning, hygiene, which is definitely the core job, and trust you, it's a very, very important job. But when we say that housekeeper has much larger scope, the larger scope in the textbooks are limited to one chapter on cost, one chapter on probably creativity and aesthetics, one chapter or probably half a chapter on guest interactions. Again, a food for thought. References. How do we forget about everybody else? I'll talk about myself. As a housekeeper, I've always started introduction with my students. Housekeeping is all about cleaning and hygiene. It is about cleaning and hygiene. That's the core skillful job housekeeping has to do, and one has to really bundle it up really nicely to tell that to the students. But I take the onus too. I have also started this books as to the references of housekeeping, that it is all about cleaning. While on the other hand, in these forums, we say that there is a lot of other opportunities. Okay. Again, events for housekeeping that has happened or I have seen during my career is all about, let's do a competition on a bed making, let's do a competition on who cleans, defects. Now, again, I am not taking away from a fact that these are the critical, these are the core skills of the department, and that has to be brushed up. But when we talk about housekeeping being seen as a wholesome, as some department which has a lot of the bandwidth of the department is so big that it's not only restricted to that, and if somebody wants, it can be X, Y, Z, and equal due importance needs to be given to each buckets within the housekeeping department. Emotions and feelings is something I have put in because I will explain that with an example. I've often heard housekeepers and housekeeping, including myself at some point of time, complaining when somebody in the back of the house calls up and say, oh, my dustbin has not been cleaned by housekeeping. So now now when we use the term cleaning, or when we use the term hygiene, or when we do maintaining that it has to be the garbage clearance has to be done. And culturally, in our mind, we are just so stuck on that this is not a professional job, and we get very emotional about this whole event. Go start aggressive, starts fighting with people. I think the better way to do is not get emotions and feelings around it, and gets more professional when we talk and to address such issues, because as a part of a hotel, we should not close ourselves with what we have grown up seeing culturally, feeling about this subject called cleaning, or helpers who had come while growing up to help us do these jobs. In hotel industry, it is a very professional job. It is a cleaning, and one should not feel or make somebody or the associate or a feeling that, oh, why that manager has called you for cleaning the dustbin or a garbage. Please go and say, no, we are doing something else. I do not think that's those emotions and feelings are going to make that gentleman who is cleaning a garbage feel more important, or feel very nice that some manager has supported me in this. I do not think when the job of cleaning comes in hotel, it's a professional job like clearing a plate, or probably washing the utensils, or probably cooking a food for somebody. It's same as that in a hotel industry. It's a professional job. These empathies and sympathies towards cleaning in particular, I feel, cause that emotional barrier. So rather than addressing it that, my boy is doing something else, and cleaning your office is not important, give that due importance to that job, that your garbage is cleaning is important. There are schedules as cleaning, as setting up of stations in the restaurant, or cleaning, or doing a misa in the kitchen. There is a schedule to clean an office. The gentleman who is cleaning this garbage will come at the scheduled time. Rather than attaching too much emotions to this word terminology, garbage clearance and cleaning, I think like we should all handle it very, very professionally. So I don't know how many of you can relate to it. I'm just talking about my personal experience, that we attach too much emotions and feelings around this cleaning and garbage cleaning. It's a professional job, and till the time we as a faculty or as an industry experts won't accept it and talk it in that fashion, I do not think that it's automatically uplift this job of cleanliness. So I don't know if I made my point clear here when I said emotions and feelings. I think we culturally, as we've grown up culturally and seen this job being done at the domestic level, we should definitely create that barrier and should make it more professional in the hotel industry, and should not attach emotions and feelings, especially when it comes to talking to students or our associates in housekeeping in hotels, and should sound it very very professional, and should not attach a lot of empathy and sympathy towards over other departments and towards other associates of other departments. So yeah, that's about we us in now, how we perceive it, and how we also sometimes unknowingly use some terms and representation of a department that ultimately, I think my presentation is, yeah, ultimately creates a perception overall in the industry and in the mind of the students and associates who work in the industry. Again, something on a psychological effect, impact, and again, something how when we're talking about the development and how we can change things and perceptions and conceptions about a certain department or a certain skill in a task. I think consciously somewhere we also have to make a change in the terminologies that is being used. I just gave an example of how when we start empathizing or sympathizing with one particular department or the skill set, it creates a separation between two departments. And while I'm saying that, I'll just digress, and I actually went to Google and asked the definition of labor. And the labor is nothing else, it's just anything which entails a physical hard work. So why it is only labor word is attached when it comes to housekeeping? Trust you me, while I was moving to a general administration, and I was actually doing my training as a part of my moving into a general administration role from housekeeping, my whole perception changed. I would go on those weekends in the restaurant to attend to the guests, and I would end up picking up a heavy trays on a busier days, and would just thank my luck that thank God I didn't do all my life as a career option, because it is so hard work running around handling with those trays, heavy trays. I went on a sales call and I had to talk so much to sell my hotel. I said, thank God I didn't have to do it. So hard work, laborious job when we talk about hotels is involved everywhere. And trust you me, I say it with a lot of confidence and with a lot of experience that I have just done. I have worked on shop floor level in almost every department, apart from not cooking so much because it's a very skilled job and probably I would have spoiled the broth if I would have gone there. However, when you see them sweating in every department, you realize laborious work and labor is not only in housekeeping. And the literal definition resonates with everybody who works with their hands physically, and it's a labor. So talking about, coming back to this slide, when I say incorrect terminologies, definitely entails that we unknowingly creating a lot of barriers and differentiation within the one industry where all jobs are professional and laborious. So while everybody else is addressing, me and Dr. Leena was talking yesterday, and we were saying, well, everybody all is addressed generally. Even a receptionist is a receptionist, a chef is a chef, or a F&B steward is a steward. Unknowingly, we are calling everybody associate, but a room attendant, a room attendant. A back of the house boy who cleans an office is in a locker, a cleaner, a janitor. So what are we doing? You know, it is, and the culture that we belong to creates a kind of stigma. You know, that helper or a cleaner is somebody, that auntie or a didi who came to my house to clean when I was growing up. But I thought I joined an industry in housekeeping as an associate who is doing a professional cleaning, professional upkeep of the property. So why I've been asked, I've been called a cleaner or a room attendant. Why I'm not being called an associate like a steward, while if I talk in another connotation, everybody's a labor doing a physical job. So that's what I said. There is no fairy godmother who's going to come and change the culture. It's us as a very honorable influencers, faculty, teachers, and the industry leaders. We need to make that change. We don't have to create any stigma for any department. And that's, trust you me, nobody is doing intentionally. It's very, and that's why we have to make a lot of conscious efforts of what terminologies we use. So it kind of creates a labeling, a stereotype, division, us versus them, very, very important. Us versus them happens, you know, like, why are we discussing this topic? Because this is already creeping in, that housekeepers is not only about creep, because already that has been created, this division, housekeeping versus the other departments. So that's over the time has happened unintentionally, which probably needs to go back, where we need to consciously make an effort to use a right terminology, which does not create that barrier that, oh, we need little sympathy and empathy because we are laborers, we do more hard work. I'm sorry, that has to come very professionally on the same page, where we have to say that everybody is doing a hard work. All our associates in all departments. And when some housekeeping associate or a student comes seeking sympathy or an empathy, it is our responsibility to tell them and educate them that please do not consider yourself separate. If you are doing this hard work, there is F&B guy or steward who is picking up the tray and is also doing in hard work. So while I am upset, you please tell them that even F&B guy is also upset. You're not separate. Don't create a division unknowingly. Loose total social status is something I think I've slightly touched upon while I spoke about the culture that we all in India grew up, kind of discrimination, labeling, all of this. I've just picked up these few words, but this is something which doesn't happen naturally, or intentionally or knowingly. Nobody wants to do that, but it is happening unknowingly because of the terminologies that we use against a particular skill set or against a particular position that one holds in the hotel. And I talk with a lot of confidence because somewhere down the line, even I might have used these terminologies, which I consciously make an effort not to use that now. While a general manager walking into the hotel, I mean, I worked in the plethora of, of ITC. I got an opportunity to work in. I have seen some general managers walking into the lobby and saying equal hellos to a front office reception guy and the housekeeping who is mopping the floor at that point of time. And I have seen certain people who have walked into the lobby saying hello to the probably a receptionist, or not even seeing who the person that is cleaning. You probably never knew the name of that boy who's cleaning your lobby. Why is the question. So that kind of creates a barrier. That's kind of, and this all happens unintentionally. All due respect to those general managers, it's just the mindset which needs to change, which is changing definitely, and has to make more conscious efforts. So the students who wants to opt for housekeeping and consider housekeeping as a profession should consciously play on a level field. This type of questions and discussions over the time should settle down and should never happen, because unconsciously we create a barriers. Yeah. So who's the hero? And I know what you all are thinking. I have a put here. So again, coming back to us as as a responsible industry, expertise, or people who spend certain amount of time. In my mind, when we create heroes in our industry, because all said and done, when I teach my son, I create certain hero, teaching a certain, oh, you look at that, how he has evolved or she has evolved. When we teach unknowingly, we want to create that inspiration, motivation, a heroism, that why you should grow in this particular field, or why you should go ahead and take hotels as an option. So when we talk hotels in general and we say that, who's the hero in the hotels? What pictures comes to your mind? Dr. Lena, since you're speaking, can you just, it'll be nice if somebody says something that, close your eyes. And as a faculty member, when we teach our people in housekeeping or across the board, who's the hero? Who we create as a hero?
So there are some chat messages I see over here. Receptionist, I suppose. Some more are probably coming up.
Yeah, okay, receptionist or general manager. And guess what? Chefs, how chefs have glamorized themselves, and chefs are heroes. Everybody now wants to be a chef. So I think as a university, as a college, it is a responsibility when we talk of heroes, we stop doing it based on the departments. We talk about people not mentioning that this is a particular person from this department, she or he has become a general manager. This person from this department has become a leader or a CEO or VP. He was from FNB. This receptionist has made it big, and see the kind of comment she gets. She's a front office guy. I personally feel that's wrong way of portraying it. The heroes, when you see, when we talk about heroes as a faculty member or as a teacher or as a guide or as a leaders in my hotel, probably, I would want to say, see, an X person is somebody because she was knowledgeable. He had a capability of interact with the guest, which is very important. He continuously worked upon himself or herself to be competent in where he has. and some core skills that I have just mentioned. It's just, honestly, I just unstructured presentation picked up from Google, but I believe in this. So when we talk about heroes, I think somewhere down the line we compartmentalize, departmentalize, and unfortunately, while the industry is growing, and we don't have many heroes from traditionally. I'm saying, if I have to talk about a traditional aspect from housekeeping, things are changing. And things will further change if we stop putting a compartment or a barrier with that hero or heroine references the department. It would be better for a faculty member. That's what I feel. Again, due respect and my apologies if I'm hurting anybody's sentiments. But I feel if we have to evolve, we create heroes, and everybody does create a heroes and inspirations. If we talk more with connotations with their capabilities, skill set, their experiences, how he or she has built upon their knowledge, rather than saying, oh, that hero or heroine has come from this background or department. Because as we grow, probably you have me, Miss Meena Bhatnagar, or 4-5 more in the industry in India. Abroad, there are many. We are evolving. So they are after with thousands of GMs, only 4 from housekeeping. What we are doing unconsciously. So where is my opportunity? We're not doing it intentionally, but we are doing it unintentionally. When we create these heroes. So my thing would be that, how I would want to take it. I would want to create a whole, that particular person is a hero, or probably made it so big in the industry because XYZ competency, and not from which department he comes from. So that kind of gives a very different feel and perception to this whole concept. I hope I'm making some sense when I'm talking here. Yeah. Okay, so another thing which I really want to talk about is personality traits. See that how a housekeeper or a housekeeping perception can be changed is when we propagate a lot about personality traits. Now, personality, when I talk about, is something not how you look and feel and dress up. That's given by nature. That's you can't change how you look, what's your race, what's your color. All respects to everything. So personality is how you carry what has been given to you. So that's very important, that how you carry what has been given to you. How as a faculty member, for me, what really worked and I really believe is in how curious you are. As a housekeeper, it was very easy for me in the busy time to tell my team when they came, madam, so many calls coming, नीचे से reception तो back phone कर रहा है, हमको phone नहीं, हमको तो room नहीं बनाने दे रहा है, it's so irritating, so annoying, we are laborers, we are busy, we are this. Am I curious to understand in the lobby as a housekeeper that why reception is calling so many times? A very simple, basic question, rather than becoming very emotional and getting very, like I spoke about emotions and feelings. It's, have I gone down as a housekeeper? Because probably as a housekeeper, I won't make 18 rooms or 15 rooms like in room attendant or my associate make. I will probably at that point of time be very curious, would want to go down and would want to see that why front office is calling. What happens when I start doing it and when I start inculcating this culture of be curious, be curious, be curious, is I broaden my perspective, because I go down, I see in the lobby there is a queue. There are 2 sophisticated, because we get all plethora type of guests, all the type of guests, and there is queue. There are 2 sophisticated gentlemen standing and waiting for their turn and room to be allotted, and there is 2 gentlemen who are screaming and shouting and understand the psychology of that front office guy. So what I do, I contribute. How do I contribute? I know how much time it will take to make a room. I contribute. Probably I say, you are handling 4 guests, let me come and contribute and pacify the guest who is bothersome, and who I can go ahead and tell them that, this is the issue, this is going to be time, can I offer you something, XYZ, so contribute. not my department, your department. I'm contributing to the hotel, to the guest satisfaction. So that is why I said it's so important to inculcate this as a faculty member, as a leaders, that do not get stuck with your contribution to your department, because when you are in the system, your vision, your goals has to be aligned to the organization and not only to your department. And that's probably somewhere, as in housekeeping as a department, traditionally we got stuck. We, the laborers, we get so busy, we get, nobody understands us, we don't come in for front. Well, nobody stopped you. Traditionally, maybe many years back in 1984, when that book was written and that gentleman had gone and stayed in the hotel, maybe, but not anymore. It is up to you, your personality traits, and how curious you are to understand the other's perspective, and how important you feel about your own contributions in the hotel vision and goal. Is your personality trait, and somewhere that has to be propagated when the faculty are speaking to their students. Collaborate. Again, like I said, that collaboration is more, in a busy day, I leave my work and I start doing others' job. No, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying stop a room cleaning and start taking check-ins. No, that cannot be done. You have to be professional, and you are hired to do to spruce up the room and make the room ready for you. This thing, you better do that. But what I'm saying, collaborate, is that understand the perspective. Understand how if you are getting bothersome by the cause, rather than making you cry and making feel you're empathetic towards your own job, how you can collaborate and say that, see, yesterday this was an issue, let's sit down, if in case this situation arises, this is how we can you can work better, or this is how the situation for accommodation team can be handled better, and why only you are waiting for a front office manager or a front office associate to go ahead and complain. So why a housekeeping or a housekeeper cannot go ahead and take the initiative and say that let's collaborate and align towards hotel and guest satisfaction, and that will come when we all start talking about that language. It's not, do not wait for anybody else. These are your own personality traits which will take you forward. I'll give you an example of my own self. In one of the hotels, I had an IPL team checking in. As an executive housekeeper, I was in the hotel. I had my functional head also in the unit to do the audit. And we were all preparing for a hearty welcome for this IPL team, all these celebrity players coming in. And my functional head asked me that since GM is on, I think he was traveling for some work only when this team was checking in, or I don't remember, probably he was on the leave. And this functional head asked me that, oh, so much planning is happening, who is going to go receive the team and do the warm welcome? I said, I'm going. And the surprise that I got from the other end, that was, you sure, like as a housekeeper, you going there and doing this for them? I said, yes, I have done all the back end work for how the welcome going to be, how they're going to look, because I took the initiative. That is my personality trait. I was curious how it is done, so I went ahead and I did it. I was the one who was standing in the front instead of my general manager. Nobody asked me to do it. And trust you me, when I showed this initiative, nobody stopped me also. They said, go ahead. So these are part of your personality traits, which I feel it's so important at the institute level and at the industry level to inculcate this. Give an equal level playing. The level playing platform is there. It is something to do with your own curiosity, your own personality traits, which helps you change the perceptions. So that somewhere, I think at the student level, it's very important from the faculty sides to inculcate that. Be curious, project yourself in a passion that people start trusting you. Don't go to an empathetic and a shell mode that, oh, we are just housekeeping. It's not about everything that can be given on the plate. Something, your personality traits, your own self has to take initiatives. And that's very important for us to tell these students in the platforms and give them that confidence that it's lots to do with your own self. Not everybody in F&B and front office make to general management. It's a lot to do in that field as well. And when we start talking to everybody at the same platform, at the same level, the perceptions automatically change. People don't hesitate considering themselves being in housekeeping professional, because everybody is on the level field. And everybody has an opportunity depending on how curious they are, how much they want to contribute to the vision of the hotel, how much they want to collaborate with others, or they just want to be very obsessive or possessive and feel sorry about their own department and situation. So that's about personality. Be an influencer. Now, why I said Google it, I'm sure most of you are carrying the phones. You can actually go ahead and Google. Be an influencer. I'm sorry, am I running ahead of time because my phone is shut and I'm just trying to see that why it is not starting. And please tell me if I've crossed my time limit, and I will stop. So it's a quick one. Be an influencer. Google it. Is all to do with what I've said just now. There was chefs also who were considered only only the cooks. Now see, there are pictures everywhere with them. With celebrities, everybody wants to be a chef. Everybody, if I may use the term, take the liberty, they've glamorized their job, right? So who stops us? When you Google it, you do a housekeeping. There are people with caddies, with brooms, with mops. Yes, that's the core skill. But one should take pride in speaking to guests as well. There should be pictures of housekeepers interacting with the guests and folding hands with namaste. Why only receptionist is there? Don't we go in the lobby, fold hands and welcome guests? Why not? So how as a community on a larger platforms we can influence, and we can be the influencers as well, is a food for thought. And probably the young generation, if we start propagating this agenda, that be an influencer, like chefs, you never know. Everybody wants to be a housekeeper tomorrow. Okay, we spoke a lot about what has been happening. As I said, things are really changing. Things are evolving. You see me as a general manager here from a housekeeping background. In 2021, a lot of positive, good signs, changes are there. There are reviews on, if you Google it again, you will find, if I have not put those snippets there, you would have thought that I've just taken out the one which I want to portray. No, I do not want to do that. Go to the reviews. There are a lot of people talking about housekeeping, which is a very good sign that people at associate level are encouraged in the industry and they go talk to the guests. There are guests who are coming back, who are in the hotels just for the housekeepers, the associates that they interact with. A lot of management positions have been taken up by the housekeeper in general administration, HR, training. So housekeepers is, as I said, I do not want to segregate this position and skill set separately, but since I'm on this platform, so I'll still say that there are housekeepers on the same platform. So there are trainers from F&B and front office background, so is from housekeeping. There's general manager from F&B and housekeeping general managers from housekeeping and F&B background, so is from housekeeping. There are HR managers from these backgrounds, so is from housekeeping. So management positions have come to kind of a level playing field. The whole look and feel of housekeeping has changed. Well, I don't know, I made sure that if there is a Christmas lighting event in the hotel and I have conceptualized, or my team has conceptualized, I make sure I party to that PR event in the hotel. If the hotel is getting awarded for recognized for the service, I'm not saying any particular department, hotel, I made sure that I went up to that stage and accept for because my job is important too. I have contributed for the hotel so it's very important that look or feel of how we feel about our own jobs. And because once we don't feel we are confident about the jobs that we are doing, I don't think we can preach the same to our students as well. Loyalty factors for the guests, and of course now housekeeping is not limited to brooms, traditional way of cleaning and maintaining and upkeep. Housekeeping has really taken a background, especially ever since the last year in unprecedented time of this pandemic, which still unfortunately continues. It has evolved. I mean, everybody is looking out for a housekeeper these days. You know, they want inputs of how to clean their sanitization and disinfection terminologies are being used like tomatoes and potatoes now. You know, and everybody is seeking a job of a housekeeper, and everybody is seeking inputs of a job housekeeper. Technology has evolved many fold, where a lot of contractual services has come into play, you know, which were not there earlier. Like traditionally, we just hired for public area cleaning and all, but now a lot of contractual services are there, which do a specialized disinfection and sanitization of the properties. They are there who have the new technology, where the technology will come. They have robots who will disinfect through the UV lights, and then they take the robot away. They will have a UV lights to check the hotel cleanliness. So it is the traditional ways of cleaning up, upkeep and hygiene have also changed. Now technology is playing a forefront. It's so important that everybody is exposed to that housekeeping, that aspect of housekeeping at the institute level itself, because then you see housekeeping in a very different light from what we've seen culturally growing up. So yeah, I think 2021 looks very, very bright for this particular skill set and the particular field. And if we show this brighter side on a level playing field rather than being, and on a professional field rather than referring every time to as something which is separate and feeling empathetic towards it, I think it will be absolutely a different ball game going forward. I think, yes, of course, now it is no more important from which background you come from. Ambassadors are your guests. Ambassadors for yourself are you yourself. How you project yourself, what kind of knowledge how you enhance yourself, how your personality traits are seen in the outside, and how you keep evolving with the changing environment. So, and you know, what kind of, how motivated you are to impress in the industry. So so it's a changing things. The ambassadors, what used to be earlier, or a heroes, what used to be earlier in a traditional hoteliering, have changed completely. I think your ambassador is yourself. It is up to you what you want to achieve in your life and how you want to portray a particular skill set or a housekeeping or anything, so to say. I think that's it from my side. I spoke more than what I was required to, I believe, Dr. Leena.
Amin, that was fantastic. I think I really loved your presentation and those, small pointers which really make so much of sense. And I think you're putting everyone to think again as to what they are doing and how probably they should change the perception and myths what they carry with them about this department.
Yeah.
We take it up now. Professor Jesu, he has written a question or given a question that now the hotels are going to follow the new guidelines or protocols aftermath of COVID-19, and it is more than cleanliness, or even we may refer to terminal cleaning, like the one which is followed in corporate super specialty hospitals. How the hoteliers like you to evolve these strategies to your subordinates? Isn't it expensive, and how the hotels are going to face this?
So basically, the question is around the new methodology of disinfection and hygiene and what is expected out of hotels. See, I've always maintained it even last year that, you know, cleaning and disinfection has been part of our DNA, especially when we worked in a luxury environment or a five-star environment. However, with this pandemic setting in, the expectations of the guest has completely changed. They no more they want a personalization as if for some time to come that will stay as is. They don't want a lot of interaction, and what they require, the basic need of time has changed to a clean and hygienic and a disinfectant. It isn't, that is about how so as they say, you change with the market demand. So when you have to stay in the business and you change with the market demand, you will have to adopt what the customer is asking, what the guest is asking from you. So while it is an expensive way, like we at ITC have invested a lot of money to engage with DNV to get a hospital level sanitization certifications. Yes, the investments were there, but we are nowhere to go. We have to stay in this business. And if we have to stay in this business, that's the need of the hour. So we cannot run away with these investments. This time will not stay longer, and we shall expect a good time ahead. And these investments today is definitely going to reap benefits in future. Yes. So good organization will never shy away from investing in the areas where the guest is where we meet up to the guest expectations. Yeah.
Another question which is being asked by Professor Vasundhara: how has Welcome Group addressed this problem of us versus them? Is recreating terminology a way forward?
Okay, well, that question is not very clear to me. However, I can talk about a little bit about Welcome Hotels by ITC Hotels. So, so it is like Vivanta by Taj. So, it was the need of our art to come up with the segment which is which is young, vibrant, because there are a lot of young corporates and executives who are who travels a lot. And but these youngs and executives do not have per diems or entitlements, which entails them to stay in luxury properties. Yet with their designations and all, it is an upmarket segment which needs to stay in a 5-star space. So we somewhere that segment was not evolved or seen so much in the industry at that point of time. It was only Luxury Collection because we were branded, we were associated with Starwood at that point of time and Marriott at now. So we came up with this brand which is upmarket 5-star segment. However, catering to this new young executives who can afford us at certain price point and can and I'm sorry, and our and we kind of match to these services which are given to in the luxury segment as well. When it comes to the branding and how we project it, there are certain brands which are established like ITC and certain brands like Welcome Hotel evolving, and which is still evolving, known but still evolving. There is a way ahead to go. So we did change our nomenclature as well. Well, it was Welcome Hotel Bangalore earlier. I'll just give example of one hotel. We've changed the nomenclature to back it by the already established brand called ITC. We said Welcome Hotel by ITC Hotels Bangalore. So yes, as we evolve in the business, there are changes we keep on doing, and it is never us versus them. It is how to establish against them, not against them, as per the required market. I hope that kind of answers what you were trying to say.
Yes. Another question by Professor Hinder: have you given suggestions in your reputed hotel brand to revise job titles or positions in order to add motivational factor to carry out the assigned task? Reframing of job titles definitely will add students' commitment towards hotel industry.
Oh yes, definitely. If you see the what the room attendants have been to guest valets, the recommendations are definitely there. And in the forums, you will often see the young executives and managers referring everybody as an associates and not room attendants or stewards or probably cooks. So it is in a professional space, everybody is referred as associates. As I mentioned earlier, also it's an evolving process. It will not happen overnight. Traditionally, some things have been followed, but with the new team, new minds, new mindsets, things are changing. The recommendations are there, and it's already changing. So, and over the time, it will absolutely be on a level field for everybody. If we start now, it's an evolving process. Yeah.
Okay. The next question is from Professor Jesu again. general stigma we are facing in our teaching housekeeping practicals. The students are hesitant to do the job of cleaning, uh, uh, WC cleaning, etc., and how to overcome this in the college level.
I think it is more by telling them that what you do. I think I would personally address it as like that somebody has joined a hotel industry by their choice. Nobody has forced them. And when we talk about hotel industry, we talk about an induction program of the hotel before they take up any department. I think at that very point of time, it is important to tell them that in hotel, the professional job entails cleaning, entails serving, entails picking up the trays, dirty, soiled cutlery, crockery. So when we talk to the student, they all know that this is what India is. At induction level, it is so important because, it is a myth. It's not actually a myth. Myth also, the industry outside is very glamorous. But a lot of people like myself who had not got exposed before I joined the industry to what it entails probably doesn't even know. So it's not their fault. I'm not saying it's the fault of a student. Probably at the induction level, we don't have to, I do not believe that we have to show a very glamorous picture to them. I think it's at induction level also, it's very important to tell them what a professional hotel entails. It also includes the cleaning of cutlery and crockery, so is WC cleaning. As I said, we should not segregate any of the skill set starting from the induction. Make it all professional at the same field, same level.
Yeah, the next question is from Dr. Pankaj. In this pandemic time, housekeeping has become a very important part of a hotel, but still most of them are neither sincere nor they are respectable. Explain why.
I didn't get the question. Sincere and respectable is pertaining to, I believe what they're saying is that since even if the housekeeping is so important in today's world scenario, since it's not respectable, is what I've understood the question is. Well, I think that's why we are at this forum, why we're discussing this. I have already mentioned that culturally in India, we've grown up with certain mindset that will only be changed when we start evolving from here. We start preaching and in a certain fashion. Let's not attach our culture from where we grew up to our professionalism. When we talk to students, it has to be clear that culturally what we've seen is different from what hotel as a profession is. And why we are saying housekeeping is not respectable and how cleaning the soiled utensils are more respectable is something questions we should ask students back. And how cleaning utensils in F&B support is more respectable than cleaning a WC. That will only happen when we'll all start believing that all skill sets are required in the hotel industry and all are equally important. And that is how probably the faculty is here listening to this and not students, because it has to go from us to them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it will change. It definitely is changing. I can promise you that being in the industry, it is definitely changing. The thought process is evolving. And because we all are evolving, we want to make a change. Yeah.
Yes. So next question is from Professor Vasundhara. Ms. Avanti, what was your journey like? Were you at any time the victim of unintentional discrimination? Do you feel that as a housekeeper, you had to work twice as hard to break stereotypes?
I'll just answer again in the strong beliefs that I have. Break any kind of stereotype, you have to work hard. The glass ceilings does not get broken just by themselves. And it has got, I'll just excuse myself for a second, please.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. So I'll just ask to break any stereotype from rich to rags to rich. It's a lady or a gentleman, or it's from irrespective. You have to work hard. There is no shortcut, and I'm a very old school when it comes to that. There is no shortcut to hard work. And yes, I won't lie. Traditionally, I started back in 18 years back. I felt somewhere when I spoke about terminologies, feelings, and emotions, probably that was from my personal experiences. There is a meeting on revenue. Amandeep, you need not attend. That's okay. Continue. So I felt less empowered. Why should I not know how a business my hotel is doing? I'm talking long time, many years back. Daily flash report, housekeepers were not getting. Why? So there are still some housekeepers probably in the system who are not getting it. I'm not saying ITC, I'm generally talking in industry. So yes, traditional barriers still existed, still exist, though a lot have changed. That is where personality traits come in. Went ahead, took initiative, and said, I want these reports. Can I be part of this meeting? Who are our top producing companies? Some will tell you, some will not, but who stops me to ask? So traditional barriers don't change overnight. It will have to be worked upon, and there's a lot of play which one has to, what your own self and own initiative has to take. And that is what I want all of you to take up with the students. It doesn't happen overnight. And it is not that everybody from other backgrounds become general managers or rise high. Yeah. Thanks.
There is one question from Dr. Sarvana. I think this is very much nowadays has been discussed that the entire hotel, specifically, most of the core functions or operations are going to be, given to outsiders as a contract. So, do you think is contract cleaning for hotels is good and advisable?
See, it's actually it's a very subjective matter. If we can do a separate session on this. It depends on it's lots to do with the setup of the hotel. Not only in terms of architect and design, not only the specialized services that one can do in the hotel, it's also the cost structure one hotel can take on. So contractual services is the myth it comes out cheaper. I think contractual services are more to do with the specialized skill which your own unit cannot handle at all this thing, and the cost is not necessarily cheaper in this thing. So that as a hotel, because hotel as a subject is such a vast in so many areas, needs to penetrate a lot of things you cannot hire staff for, or cannot probably invest in that one or two staff who has that special skill. And that is when hotels going for the contractual services. And many a times, even for those specialized services, hotel cannot afford those contractual services because of the cost it entails or the legal requirement that entails to hire any contractual services with you. In contract also, there are 3 types of job contract, service contract. There are different kind of terminologies which is used, and then one has to decide for their own hotel what suits them. So it's a very, very subjective matter. There are certain specialized skill job where hotel does not find it a sense or a business sense to invest in those machinery or in those staff members just for that particular skill job. So that is when the hotel takes a decision. Okay, there is some specialized agency which is there to handle this kind of skill job, and that is when the hotel take a decision to get into that kind of job. For example, a glass cleaning. So high-rise buildings, you do not want your own employees to get into risk of hanging those Spider-Mans and BMUs. You need a specialized skills and certifications also, which probably I don't see a merit in investing in for my unit. I will go for a contractual services who already has this specialized skill. So it's a very subjective matter. There are a lot of legalities involved. There's a lot of complexity of the hotels, which make them decide which services to hire. But yes, certain specialized service, I do believe hotel has to look in. Like one example in housekeeping I gave is glass cleaning for high-rise buildings. Yeah, but a very subjective matter, I must say.
Next question is from Professor Jitendra Das from IHM Chennai. I think this is probably a common question which usually is not answered many a times. What are the housekeeping events or competitions you suggest apart from the typical ones? He has mentioned flower arrangement, best from waste, towel art, landscape, bed making. Do you suggest any other activities apart from these? And can you suggest something in addition to above events which can be organized for the students?
Okay. I will talk about things which I didn't know as a housekeeper. So, and then that probably will also help to have a larger perspective for housekeepers as well. I would probably go for a competitions which is like learning a skill from other department, and who captures and portrays, who captures and can present the maximum skills from other departments. Like for example, I can say that who can explain the table setup for a restaurant the best, or probably can learn check-in the faster, or probably one skill set, or can learn about the reports of other department better, uh, or maybe who gets the maximum guest comments. Who gets the maximum guest comments is one thing. There can be actually many who can give one innovative idea to generate revenue. That can be one. So that will really kick their mind into how can I, as a housekeeper, give or an associate give an idea to generate revenue, but we'll be surprised that how much they can contribute. Certain promotions going in the hotel from F&B probably, or in institute, some promotion going for something else, some other department. An incentive program for housekeeping associates or housekeeping keen students, to how they can contribute to maximize to those promotions. It's just often, it's like he caught me extempore, but this is what I can quickly think of, few things. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice, Aman. Next question is by Dr. Neeta Thomas. What are your challenges as a GM in this new normal?
New normal is not new normal anymore for us. It's been a year and a half. So we've kind of settled in with our new systems, safety measures, and kind of systems and equipments, and our processes, service designs are well set and equipped to create a safe environment. I think sometimes challenge arises when we have to repeatedly request few guests who would to wear a mask and follow the COVID behaviors, because not every type of guest is conscious enough. So it is given that if they are in a safe hotel, they are safe and there is no infection. But however, the scenario is very different. So I think certain guest handling sometimes become, challenging, where if we tell the guest that to wear a mask can offend, and and if we don't tell the guest, the other guest who is following a COVID protocol gets offended. So we do get these feedback sometimes. But I think that also kind of is managed now in the hotel. So it's not new normal anymore for us, frankly.
Okay. The next question is from Dr. Sarvana. Some hotels make staff to work 12 to 14 hours a day. Don't you think they get demotivated by working extra hours?
Not in my hotel. I'm not sure which hotel he's talking about. And we've been very particular in ITC, and ITC is the only property I know. But, I've never worked outside the organization. We're very, very particular about creating following the laws of that has been set, 9 hours work culture. We have also incorporated 6 officer a week. So, no, but sometimes, if that's get extended due to the exigencies, I think that's get well compensated in the sense of additional off and recording. However, I am not very, uh, I think those old days of working 15, 16, 20 hours are not acceptable by law. And I think now all organizations are very conscious of the laws. So things are changing in that aspect also, sir. And even if someone has to work extra hours, few days, as I mentioned, it get compensated, and that I feel is not only in hotel, that is in all the industries, right? If the exigencies are there, we've heard of in all the industries, so why segregate only hotels? Why, separate out hotels? Yeah.
The next question is by Zakaria, Professor Zakaria. Could you share your role as HK executive in the pre-opening of a hotel?
It's in the pre-opening hotels as my
Yes.
role. So yeah, I had an opportunity to be the part of a lot of pre-opening hotels. Grand Central was one. I think now my hotel is missing me because it's back-to-back calls coming in. I'm sorry. I think the role primarily I have taken up in a pre-opening is in space of housekeeping only. So housekeeping, as we all know, has a very, very critical role in setting up the rooms and the public areas. So in Grand Central, my role was in the rooms where I had set up rooms. I actually worked very closely with my late Shri Sunir Aluwali. I'm not sure how many of you know her, Vice President of Housekeeping, the only VP of Housekeeping she was. I worked very closely, and I think that was a big learning for me to order. How do we order for new hotels? The OEs and supplies. And in a very early stage of my career, she taught me that, and that kind of helped me to make a lot of OEs and supplies. And I became kind of a perpetual resource to plan for all the other hotels which were opening up with ITC. So that was Grand Central, mostly taking over the floors. I actually have taken over the presidential suite of Grand Central, and probably till date only I know a couple of loopholes which in that hotel till date, and those corners and nooks where there were issues, and I don't know what it is right now. In Grand Show, and then I came to Gardenia for deputation, where I had again assisted in opening the premium category of the hotels, which was of the premium category of the rooms, which were ITC 1. In Grand Chola, my role was primarily to set up the public areas. So yeah.
I think I will take one more last question, and I think then we'll close because we are, I think, right on time. Yes. Can you suggest some topics regarding post-COVID to include in the housekeeping syllabus?
One, definitely the psychology. To change the whole perception and gambit of what people perceive, and not to get too emotional about housekeeping. It's a professional job like any other in hotel. That's jokes apart. But I think something to do database on revenue management, absolutely critical. See, not I don't know how many people speak about it, but I'm sure we all know, apart from maintenance department, housekeepers handles the maximum funds of the hotel. As in the cost that we manage is in housekeeping is phenomenal kind of money that we handle. So I think it's very important for us. And every time a housekeeper is told by a general manager that don't spend here, don't buy linen, don't buy this, don't buy this. So again, where emotions evolved. No, not emotional about it. So why we cannot teach housekeepers the business? And that is when the housekeepers won't get emotional that I have been asked to manage with the existing linen that I have. So it's very important that revenue management is also added. I won't say that add a detailed session on how to manage a revenue, yield management, displacement. No. But important how to get glued on to the revenue and how the business moves and how the top line and bottom lines are calculated. It's maybe that a lot of value to the understanding of a housekeeper.
Aman, if you don't mind, one quick question probably. Being a general manager, are you allowing your staff to come and express their views, feelings in terms of their work, job, etc.?
Absolutely. I don't only allow, I proactively go and talk to them.
Okay,
Allow is
that's
something
fantastic.
allow is something when you have a barrier and then you open that barrier. For me, I've always worked that I go and ask them. I don't wait for them to come and tell them. I don't like not smiling faces in my hotel. So I go and proactively ask them.
Okay, super. So, Amandeep, that was, I think, very well explained, and you have kept everyone engaged throughout your session. Thank
I
you
hope
so much for taking out time from your busy schedule as we are seeing you, juggling between your work and the presentation and being here. Thank you so much for the informative presentation, and we appreciate having this mysterious area clarified really well. And it was a pleasure having you with us today. Thank you so much, and we are looking forward to have you again once we are offline and in campus. Thank you so much.
it's all mine, and I do hope that I kept everybody engaged, and I do hope people didn't doze off behind the closed cameras. And I do hope that I did not digress from the topic that was given to me. But I had a thorough session in the morning. I'm all charged up and take a lot of learnings from our interactions at myself too. So have a good day, everybody, and fruitful sessions in the day to come.
Thank you. Wish you the same. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
Ms. Amandeep, for that valuable and very informative session. And thanks a lot once again.
It was all a talk show, so I don't know how much you will have a paper or a test paper to prepare from this, but all the best for that.
It was a great pleasure to have you in the session.
Likewise, I thoroughly
Thanks
enjoyed
a lot.
myself. You
Thank
have a
you.
good day. Bye-bye. Take care.